Here in Madison Square Garden, we're gearing up for Game 2 here. And gentlemen, when we talk about what these teams are coming into Game 2 with, I have to imagine that Impulse felt like they had that game in the bag with the lead that they had built and how the game was playing out. To have that ripped away from them has to prey on their mentality and their ability to take risks in the coming games.
Yeah, TIP used to be one of the bloodiest teams in North America. If they saw a fight, they took a fight, whether or not they had an advantage, and they didn't even take a fight until they had an advantage that they hadn't grown for a long time. It was a big kind of deviation from the style we usually see TIP play. Usually they want to jump in, and they didn't do it this game. I don't know if it's nerves, I don't know what it is, but TIP need to find themselves here on the stage if they want to have that first spot in the regional qualifiers.
Medios, a lot of people are going to be looking towards Rush to be the person to reignite that aggressive style for Impulse. Is this the time to abandon the Cinder Hokley Sin and maybe go back to the Warrior, really get out there and start fighting?
I think he might. Usually, I feel like in series like this, like I was saying earlier, after Game 1, teams don't necessarily always change their entire plan, because if you're looking at that from tip side, they could say, you know, we're up 7K gold, we didn't do badly, but they just messed up a few key things that didn't let them win the game. So I think maybe something they might do is look to take away the Janna. You know, that Zeke's Janna thing was pretty hard to deal with, and it stopped a lot of the aggression, so.
It's funny you mentioned that team's somewhat doing badly or figuring out what they're doing wrong, because Liquid in the past has been a team that will beat themselves up over something that they feel they're doing wrong, but really it's the composition that's something that's not working for them. And we saw that with the takeaways of their previous game. It took them a while to get the takeaways at TSM. Coming out of that, though, I want to see people attack the nerves here. I want to see Liquid come out very fast in this game. It's kind of like a gentleman's agreement ramp-up we have going on in these games right now, as Jat and the guys are saying. It's only a better fight because more people have money. Let's see what they can do in the early game to create that and take it all the way home.
Well, we've got some things to look for. That's enough from us, though, because the players are ready for Game 2. Now, as we kick it over to our casters, Rush explains why Impulse is out to settle a score against Team Liquid.
이번에 만약 팀 리퀴드를 만나면은 사실 저번 시즌에도 3, 4위전에서 팀 리퀴드 만나는 건데 또 만나게 되는 거고, 저번엔 저희가 3대2로 졌으니까 이번엔 저희가 깔끔하게 이겨줄 차례인 것 같아요.
Welcome back, everyone, to the caster desk. I'm here with Josh, Jat, Leesman, and Sam Kensler. I don't know why I tripped up.
You almost messed it up.
I almost got Josh and Jat mixed up, which is actually the origin of the name in the first place, so I can't.
Josh Leesman.
Yep. Either way, though, we are getting ourselves into Game 2 here. Team Liquid winning a very, very close Game 1 that Impulse really let slip away. So coming into Game 2, I'm wondering what these teams might adapt to.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about during the game how it didn't seem like Team Impulse was knowing what to do, and on the desk there, or the analyst area, they were talking about how
we're missing desks.
How Team Impulse just weren't winning or taking team fights, but honestly, it seems like they've forgotten how to team fight. With the element of having Gate on a supportive mid laner, the entire structure of Team Impulse's team fighting is changed, and it has not recovered. They almost need Gate to be on a diving damage dealer, because Impact and Rush, they do dive. They do it very well, and they need another person in there with them.
Yeah, it changes how you play the jungle so much when you change mid laners. It touched on it a little bit, but like that may be a main reason why Rush has not returned to his same style, because even if you still have one solo lane that's really aggressive and really good to go back and gank for, it makes you predictable then. You need options as a jungler. You can't fall into a pattern.
All right, well, we're already seeing a lot of change here, though, so as far as bans are concerned, not always a pattern shown. We've seen the now Vayne and Tristana added to the Impulse ban list, while Liquid hasn't changed much so far. Of course, I guess you could say Game 1 went well enough for them. They're happy to keep things as they were.
Yeah, what's really interesting, though, is Team Impulse dropped their Kalista ban. It's something that they have banned in every single playoff game up until this point, and I was really wondering if Team Liquid is going to let it through. I think this mind game might have messed up Team Liquid a little bit, because Azir and Kalista are arguably Phoenix and Piglet's best champions, and they end up banning both instead of deciding some type of trade.
It's so hard to give one of those away, though, for any sort of trade. I don't see Azir being played at all in any of these matches.
It's true. This also leaves Elise out for a potential first pick. It's something. The Elise Shen is something that Team Impulse used as a combo in their sweep of Team Dignitas in the quarterfinals, and they could easily put that together with this team.
Unless they don't feel like Dominate's a good enough Elise player and they just want the Shen right off the bat.
Or that Dominate is well-rounded enough that the effect of Elise or any of the other top junglers will be similar.
Yeah, unless you could knock Rush down a peg, and then it would be like a value-positive pick for Liquid just to knock Rush down. It's obviously a very complex situation. Either way, Impulse seem hamstringed. No, they're not going to go for it. They were considering the Lulu. to keep Gate on a champion. He knew how to play well, but the Shen does come out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can only speculate on what type of champions Gate can play on the competitive level, but it really feels like they must have been having a ton of success with Lulu and maybe just almost none without, because they're really seeming to rely on those shielding type picks from Gate.
Yeah.
This time, though, it's definitely not first
It
pick.
makes me wonder if they will go for the higher damage with something like Victor this time around, since Impact is gonna be on the tank. It's been great for him. Impact is an amazing Shen player. He's able to apply a lot of map pressure, and he's able to have very timely ultimates. However, they're going to need that extra damage source now.
So much for Lulu. I like the fact that Team Liquid took it away. It's a great pick for Piglet. It's something Phoenix and Quas can both play, so the Lulu is a flex in that instance. And it also blocks Team Impulse from having the Kog'Maw with the Shen, which would have been a great combo. Those are great takeaway picks by Team Liquid.
Yeah, a lot of the champions they wanted to play are now gone here. And it seems like the picks and bans so far have gone pretty well for Team Liquid. Shen was not contested before, but Impulse really wanted it here. Now, as you mentioned, Elise is still up, as is a fairly successful Evelyn we've seen from Rush earlier. And they are going to see the Evelyn come through, and the Ashe again. So Impulse, again, going to keep almost similar style in a way. Two champions changed, but it's still a similar look.
And they have a lot of tools for picking fights, but will they use them? I mean, they have this long-range initiation. They have the possibility of an invisible flank from Evelyn with Shen on her back, but it's all about, can they take down the towers early enough to gain territory to do that, and then will they pull the trigger? Team Liquid proved in the last game that it was just the first team fight jitters, and they were able to show poise to pull it out in the end. Can Team Impulse also show poise and bounce back from a game 1 loss?
Yeah, because with the team comp that Team Impulse is playing, it is in their initiative. They are the ones that have to create the fights. Probably in the bottom lane. That's where the Shen Evelyn submarine type combo that we call it comes into play the most. And it's going to be really key that they can attack that element of Team Liquid strategy now that they've picked a tank jungler, a Braum, with the Lulu. So much of the damage of this Team Liquid composition will be coming from Piglet. So the game is almost writing itself right here.
Ooh.
Team Impulse needs to shut down Quas a bit, and
The Soraka comes out!
It finally does.
I can't believe it finally shows it. All right, well, a lot of these supports, especially Adrian, have been playing a lot of Soraka in solo queue. She's very, very good for lane phase. Her roaming is atrocious, though.
yes.
And that's one of the big reasons why she's not seen a lot in competitive play. So I'm very interested to see
And a gangplank!
how
Alrighty.
are to utilize her. And the gangplank counter for Shen here. Also has semi-global influence.
Yeah.
Also can bully Shen with some well-placed barrels.
I
Quas
like
was one of the
this.
early adopters, by the way, right after the gangplank rework. I had a very fun time watching him after the early rework because he just built 4 Infinity Edges and went for tier damage. I doubt that'll be the build this time around, but he's definitely an exciting player.
Yeah, it definitely creates a bit more of a death ball for Team Liquid as well, though. Just trying to move around with the gangplank and just crush them with range damage. Team Impulse, it's a little bit of a mix because they have all that amazing dive. Little baby Soraka in the back, backing it up. I really want to see how Adrian pulls this off and how safe he can stay against even a gangplank ultimate if he heals himself too low.
Team Liquid have drafted a lot of very strong support for Piglet this time around. And it's a good idea to put all of your eggs into the Piglet basket after the last game's performance. Now he's on Kog'Maw. He has all of Lulu's defenses to support him and the Braum. We've been over so many times how well Braum can protect these AD carries in the back from both melee and range threats.
All right, so Team Liquid might feel really good coming into game 2 here. Of course, it is a best of 5, so we got more coming up. But as the teams load into the game, update your series predictions at home. We will check in on the fan vote once we're on the Rift. It's hashtag TIP winner, hashtag TL win. The fan vote initially was with Team Liquid. Team Liquid did win game 1, but there's still much more to be had today as we head into game 2 here in Madison Square Garden, live from New York City. Team Liquid would love a 3-0. They've taken 1 so far. Team Impulse looking to fire back, and here we go with game 2.
All right, let's see how the deep wards span here for the level 1 with a Soraka on your team. Now, we always talk about how good Braum is in level 1s. We never quite say how good. His kit is ridiculous. With just 1 spell, Braum beams a 70% slow, that decays over 2 seconds, Oh, actually, they may even find somebody with it. Plus a 1.25 second stun, plus over 100 damage with his passive and just a single spell. If a team with Braum on it finds you in a level 1, they will be able to chase you down.
Yeah, which I think is one of the reasons Team Impulse is playing this so passively.
Have to give him a wide berth.
It's very similar, actually, to the level 1 that they did last game, where they had Adrian and Apollo sitting up in that top lane brush. It's a bit of a lane swap game of chicken right here, because even though Team Liquid did get the deep wards that everyone likes to place when they're scouting for a lane swap, those will not see Team Impulse because they have preemptively gone into that brush. I wonder if any of that was mentioned in the 10 minutes these teams have after the game, because this is pretty much exactly the same move that Team Impulse played in Game 1.
There is one clever thing, though. Impulse got a ward that most teams wouldn't expect would exist there because of the Evelyn. She's able to sneak by the invading champions and get a deep ward on the same side of the map that Liquid invaded from.
They can't get much. They can't get a kill here, but they could get some harass and maybe a summoner.
They could send Piglet to
get
lane
a
late.
lot.
He goes left. Does he go for the taunt?
He is going to take so much
He's
damage.
going to phase check the brush. He does not have heal, keep in mind, so the amount of damage is not going to get repaired easily. Piglet down to 300 health already.
But he stays calm. He holds onto his flash.
Yeah, he took damage, but he also revealed Russian Impact and delayed their early jungle. So will there be pressure on Piglet? He has a health potion. Also, Braum can go up there and heal him a little bit with Targon stacks. And also, Team Liquid's not deterred at all here. They start the red buff.
Yeah, they're just ignoring Impulse's invade.
Well, that's pretty risky, but Smite is up for Dominate. He saved it off the first camp.
The longer they wait here, the closer X Special comes to supporting this. Also, Ashe and Soraka are thinking of coming over here. It's going to be a dare.
Soraka's coming. There's the Smite. Dominate gets it. He's going to get level 2, but not the same for Quas, as one of the small pieces was stolen away by either Impact or Rush.
Team Liquid still come out ahead. I mean, Impulse only got the Krugs off of this, and one of the small monsters out of the Brambleback camp.
Yeah, Team Liquid 2/3 of a camp ahead.
Piglet did a full recall, though, so the large wave hitting the turret, he is not willing to stick around for that, even though X Special was there. It was level 2 Soraka and level 2 Ashe. I think he could have pretty freely farmed here at the turret, but he was respecting maybe a level 2 Evelyn gank, which
I think he doesn't want to stay in a lane like that. It's so hard to get yourself back up when Ashe can hit you freely and have all the damage get healed back. Oh, nice bit of impact. Taunts through Quas to kill the barrel to make sure he wins the trade.
Yeah, there would be no way that he could possibly trade, especially since it's an Ashe Soraka.
Yeah.
Any trade, Ashe will just force trades over and over and over, and Soraka will freely heal him up. This is the power of the Soraka. It's in the laning phase when they match up 2 versus 2.
And keep in mind, this team has 2 defensive globals here between Wish and Stand United, so if Rush gets himself into a fight, there's help from all sides of the map here.
Yeah. We did talk a lot about brush control in the last game, but especially with Gangplank, it's even more important to be able to get off barrels inside the brush. But also, if the junglers come to the solo lanes that are in off lanes, counter ganks can turn the entire game around because you have to use so much when you gank one of these long lanes. And a jungler waiting in one of these brush can turn around and double kill very easily. Gangplank has a lot of AoE damage that he can bring to those skirmishes.
Yeah, Rush has also been deported out by Dominate. Dominate did a nice full clear, got his Trinket Ward inside the red buff, so now Rush is scouted out. And again, because the lanes are kind of, even though they're inverted, they're standard lanes, 80 carries versus 80 carries. I wonder how well Piglet will be able to fight back from the early recall he had to give, since it is a Soraka in the lane. Yes, they can heal up trades, but the ability for them to go aggressive is diminished. And because of the spotting out of Rush in the jungle, Quas is not free to go aggressive because he saw an Eve just clearing red.
And that means it has to be safety for now for Team Liquid. The laning phase means so far equal gold on both sides. The mid laners ±4 is still something Gate can be happy about. Impact also trading close to equal against Quas. There's a big wave in front of him, so that will be equalized soon. There is a small lead for the AD carry. You're seeing +8 for Apollo. Again, that's partially from the recall, and you can see, again, the trading power. Apollo able to push Piglet back and just get a heal from Soraka, and it's like he never took damage in the first place.
Yeah, the key to playing Soraka, especially early on here, is actually making your star call count. If you really have to get used to that range on it so that you can cast it as the enemy AD carry moves up for a CS. When they're going for CS is when the movement is predictable and you can get that health back. Rush has found himself into the brush and Impact misses, so.
Eats the oranges. Quas still trying to run. Nice turns to auto attack to get the haste from triggering the passive. Quas very familiar with the champion, but loses flash.
Since he didn't have to use his orange to get out of crowd control, I would have liked to see him wait longer so that he could heal more with it.
True.
Because the lower you are, the more that you can heal with the citrus.
Either way, does not get away all that cleanly. Flash down, I think is completely worth it here for the Impulse squad. And if you can hold down Gangplank, he does not have an easy time when behind. He kind of needs the time to set up the ability to scare you away from getting in his face. So that can get very difficult. See if it goes this way.
Plus, I like the timing of the gank. If you're going to attack top laners with ganks like this where they still have their flashes up and your only hope is really to chunk them out and take their flash, it's important to get that before the teleports come back off of cooldown from the initial rotation of teleports, and that way that they lose more CS by walking back to lane. If he had done that same gank a minute later now, then the teleport would have been back up, just right back to lane.
Yeah, and Impact honestly gains a fair bit of freedom right now. Yes, he still needs to shot, but he's ultimate up plus teleport, whereas Quas has been denied that experience as well. So it does create a power imbalance on this specific side of the map. With all that being said, though, this game is still basically the teams feeling each other out. Rush has not been able to make anything more happen. Definitely no push.
Yeah, it does take away a lot of the bite of the Gangplank pick into Shen. Big part of it early on is to try and get a lot of harass down on Shen and get pressure on him so that if Shen decides to use his teleport elsewhere, you can send him off at low health and then add your ultimate to try and even the odds for your team when they get there. And then just push the wave. He is making good use of the AoE of the barrels to get extra gold, though, from the minions.
120-ish right now. 127 so far from Parlay. So if you kind of consider the gold lead of the game itself, which is basically equal, you're seeing Parlay is really what's keeping Team Liquid safe in this game, is the lane slightly eking away from them.
And the main thing we're going to be tracking here is how Rush uses his level 6 in conjunction with Impact, because Evelynn Shen is one of the hardest combos to play against in League of Legends. If they actually wanted to get in behind probably the top lane with Piglet up there, who is a heal-less Kog'Maw, it could be a kill. You bring in Shen with the Evelynn, Ashe flies in with the arrow. Yes, there's a cleanse, but the amount of damage you can throw down can be unstoppable unless Team Liquid is basically either sitting in their brushes all the time or pinking pretty much every approach, which both of those things are incredibly hard to do. The next best thing is Dominate can get deep wards on top of a camp, which he did get at least one deep pink.
Yeah, exactly. And the way that you want to execute that Evelynn Shen attack on the cleanse target is have Evelynn open up, and Shen doesn't immediately use taunt when he arrives. That's the play pattern that you're used to seeing. But with Evelynn's slows, you force the Kog'Maw to use one of his escapes to try and get away from the slows, and then follow up with a taunt or gap closer as well as locking down with that CC.
Yeah, and there's a couple other ways you can try and play against that. Dominate needs to babysit on that side, and Quas could assist to defend the dive with a Cannon Barrage. So there are a few things Team Liquid can do against the dive if it happens, or maybe it's just a big mind game and Team Impulse isn't going to go for it at all because it would be too tough.
Apollo still trying to harass best he can. He knows he's really not afraid of these guys over here. Of note, Ashe actually better than average against Braum's Unbreakable Shield. The first Q arrow gets broken, but it hits 5 times anyway. Very, very slight damage increase as a result. Impact out times that. Quas gonna get pushed back farther in this lane. The recall for Bombies.
The constant invades actually as well from Team Liquid, Dominate and X Special, trying to get these pink wards deep into Impulse territory have paid off.
This is really interesting. Phoenix is roaming top lane either for a gank or to try and preempt the dive from Shen, but the dive is actually on the other side of the map. They're going for the unprotected Quas.
And there's the taunt right on half of him. There's the ult. He's traded back and forth. Impact's going to get away cleanly thanks to Wish. And First Blood goes over to Rush. Tops of the map, nothing happens yet.
The gank pressure from Rush early on earns Impact the advantage in the lane, and the pressure that Impact keeps up. This is why everyone always looks to Impact and Rush when they're looking at Team Impulse.
It even means a blue steal.
And it's just so hard to play against because you could see Dominate was cheating topside in hope that he could avoid the other gank. Even though Quas does get off a nice double barrel right there.
He dodged it.
The added healing from the Soraka right there really ended up saving Impact's life. Just so many things that Team Liquid have to prepare for, and they end up getting first blooded.
I'm pretty sure Impact taunted through the first payload on the second one and didn't get hit.
To me, like he took damage.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think Quas was using his W or his W as heals as well. So
Yeah.
he didn't have the remove scurvy up for taunt there.
Yep. Not the best way of dodging the gank, that's for sure.
All right. Well, all is well. Impulse now sitting 1,000 gold ahead. Top lane did stay alive with Rush throwing down to the bot side. Of course, Stand United still available. Impact can help keep Ashe safe. She did use her flash recently. I'm not sure from what, but Apollo is missing flash right now. Bit of damage on a Piglet, and the root's going to land as well. They don't want to follow up on this one. He's losing health. A Sheen only on Piglet. That's decent for trading, but not good for getting all in.
And we talked about how Team Liquid's going to need Piglet to have a pretty big game as far as a damage reliant standpoint goes. Now they're trying to go up. Shenalt is up to try and stop this dangerous gank from Dominate.
Tries to slow down Dominate. There's a flashless Ashe. That's not a great thing. Here comes the taunt. Here comes Quas, and he gets the first kill. There is one traded back, though. Dominate goes down. A 1-for-1. The barrels are up to slow on Impact. 239 damage after armor on him.
So now Impact does have teleport advantage because Quas used his teleport to answer the Shen ultimate. Impact can teleport down to bottom lane and try and gain an advantage there. Right now they're going to shove the wave in first.
Yeah,
Rush got his ulti.
not a favorable trade for Team Liquid right there. Yes, they did take down the Ashe, but they lose a lot of global map pressure under the turret.
Taunt on the Quas, puts the ulti down, but there's still a lot of damage coming through. The big silence from Soraka buys a lot of time. One more hit will do it. Rush gets his 3rd kill of the game, and Impact is still in turret range, but not taking nearly enough damage. Soraka enabling all of these dives.
So many heals onto the Sunfire Caved Impact. Just laugh at the turret. Team Liquid thought they were safe. But yeah, that's
Impulse
Soraka.
no better.
It's just comical to watch. All she has to do is stand in the back line, behind her AD carry, behind the front line, spam out heals, and
Where was this Impulse in the semifinals? Where is the Adrian, make everyone dive forever? Where was the aggression that worked from Rush?
Here's the thing. Chip has actually been having pretty good early games throughout the playoffs. It's in the team fighting phase in the late game, even as we saw in game 1, where they've been struggling. This is another example of Tip having a strong, fairly coordinated early game. 4-0 on Rush. The question will be whether they can team fight and get backline access. Let's take a look at this dive again, though, Kobe.
all right. So it starts off with a taunt, saves the W there, and tries to ring around the Rosie, around the turret. They actually do a pretty good job, especially trying to block for him, but with Rush having flash, nobody was going to get away there. And Adrian with the clutch heals even keeps Impact upright.
Yeah, unless Team Liquid can get some type of damage onto Soraka, it's going to be really hard for them to cut through in these team fights.
That was a cheeky little move. Impact goes in with the taunt so that Quas can't trigger his barrel.
Yep.
Kills the barrel while he's taunted and unable to set it off.
He's been doing that all laning phase. Also interesting, I didn't know this, but it's smart by Quas. Whenever he tosses the barrel at his feet, he attacks at the very beginning. So it's ready for one tick almost right away.
Yeah.
Hashtag Gangplank tips. That's why I cast LCS to learn how to play the game better. Rush back to the top lane. Ulti's up in about 12 seconds.
There is a pink ward in the flank approach from Rush, so he would be tipped off here, and the turret is dead. So there's, unless Quas was able to hold that, there's no real reason to go in there. Impact should push for the pink ward, though, but they don't know that it's there.
Meanwhile, Impact himself is on top of a green ward, so he's already spotted out and doesn't even know it.
Rush is around the pink this time, though.
Is able to circumvent the pink ward. The problem is that Quas is behind, and he's scared of just Impact. So ganks don't work if they're already scared of the laner alone.
Impact are too scary.
And meanwhile, Team Liquid on 2 big carries have about 1,000 gold to grow with. Double Trinity Force users in the top and AD carry positions means they're going to want to wait around a little while. Honestly, if I'm Impulse, I look for something to take before those items come through because you can guarantee Liquid won't want to fight you yet. The question is what they can look to do. Phoenix a bit sequestered off. Here comes Rush. Here comes the attempt to kill him off. Dodge away from Glitterlance, so does not come.
Yeah, they really got nothing down. They knew he had a cleanse up, so they didn't want to commit anything too hastily on that. At the time, though, Team Impulse has all of their number advantage spells up again. They have Shen ult. Eve is obviously invisible. Soraka ult as well if they want to try another turret dive. Yep, there's a shot.
They hit Piglet. They're going to put down the Soraka silence. It will not root anyone,
All
though.
the way around from Rush, and they can support with Shen if they want.
When's Impact going to show? They've slowed down Piglet. There's the submarine. He's in the brush, but he's going to go down. There's the kill. There's the top. There's the 6th kill of the game for Team Impulse.
Just a smooth gank. They have the early game pressure on Team Liquid, and all the options they have to create fights with this Shen and Evelynn plus Ashe are just netting them kill after kill here. Not too much Team Liquid can do against this.
Another blue buff stolen away. Dragon likely to be in the sights right afterwards. It does give a bit of time for Quas to farm this top lane, though with teleport available for Impact, he can show right back up there once they're sure Dragon's safe. They will indeed go for this one. Looks like Impulse won't lose too much of the backside here.
Yep, pretty easy pickup for them. The old go to the source of the global and gank that lane, paying off for Impulse. It works both ways, whether the global's on your team or theirs, enabling Impact to take over this game by giving him an advantage in lane. And Rush, with 5 of the last hits in those kills, is going back to the full damage build.
I've seen it very commonly. It's Riley's second Evelynn makes you incredibly sticky. I usually see tank from there.
It's so good against melee champions.
Oh, yeah.
To just even keep them just out of auto attack range with your Q. You rarely do see melees, taking advantage of range discrepancies to try and kite people. But with Riley's now adding 40% for AoE effects, makes it very easy for Evelynn and her hate spike to just toy with melee champions.
Well, Impact has not made his way back to the top side, though. That wave has bounced without any interactions yet at all. Impact takes some damage, doesn't seem to care too much. First Trinity Force done now for Quas.
And Impact is a brick wall right now. It's so hard for Team Liquid to do anything against him. Only the Athenes on Phoenix.
That's the other option. Luden's Echo for Rush.
Oh, wow.
It works really well with Evelynn because
he did that last time, actually.
Yeah. She casts so many spells, and she always is running quickly because of W resets. You get a lot of value out of it, but it does leave you squishy.
As we were saying, though, it's not like Team Liquid could do much damage as of now. Yes, they just completed 2 Trinity Forces, so at least they get a small spike, but it's a 5,000 gold discrepancy, and even with those Trinity Forces, they're not going to be cutting through a Sunfire Cape, Cloth Armor, level 11 Chen with Soraka heals behind him, or an Ori Shield for that matter as well. So now Team Impulse setting up the siege, knowing they can support it with the Shen ultimate if they pick a fight.
Well, Quas lost a third of his health. A basic ability combo from Rush.
Okay, so Luden's is cool, but double Trinity Forces completed is also significant for Team Liquid. Even though they are so far behind in gold, they have at least gotten items that they can try and fight with. They're at least trying to defend their own territory here. This is exactly what they had to do last game, was try and play the defensive ward game, try and keep Impulse's ward coverage out of their own jungle. Right this time, though, going to be more difficult.
Impact goes over the taunt. The arrow lands. Dominant has no chance of surviving here. Big ulti comes in, and actually, no, the re-engage comes across. 2-man shockwave. Impact nearly dead. Adrian low, and Piglet gets his first kill of the fight. Finally traded back as Rush comes in from the side. A 1-for-1 as Tank's dead on both sides.
And it's very important that Team Impulse does not overreach here. It's been their Achilles heel in the games they've lost in the playoffs, is the one big mistake they make in a game. This was not that mistake, but they did burn a lot for a little. They lost their top laner just for X Special, and now Team Liquid is free to farm the mid lane.
We'll see what they go for next here. Blue buff is safe. Looks like Liquid do not feel comfortable pushing across the river. So all is well here. Mid lane matchup, plus 18 CS. Solid for Phoenix. 0-1, can't complain here. Piglet also having a kill on the board, of course, is very, very important, but he's been losing his matchup by a little bit here.
And again, this is kind of the 20-minute mark. Team Impulse with a big lead, just like they had in Game 1. And they just try to force play in the jungle that didn't necessarily net them large results. When will they be able to force the correct plays? Rush is relentless. He needs to be relentless in his aggression right here. Can he stop Squash before the recall? He does!
Oh, Quas, good luck. Red buff is on. The orange is not going to do anything. Easy pickup. It is not K. If you want a K, you should have gotten bananas.
Other jungler has 7 kills in 20 minutes. Definitely not okay. It's a big problem.
Hey, his CS matches his kill score. 7-1.
Wow.
Planned it.
The true hero.
Numbers matching. All right, well, Apollo going to feel just fine down to the bot lane. Turret took some damage, but he is okay here. You see Phoenix playing the farm game, and the map is broken up, and it's got to be so hard for Team Liquid to play around this map. In game 1, they were behind, they were against Ash Leona, they played safely and it was all right, but they could at least see the threats coming across. Now when Rush can solo kill the top laner, it gets really hard to deal with this.
The only thing that is going for them this time around, though, is that they've been able to keep their mid turret upright. When that mid turret falls, all of Team Liquid's safe farming areas just disappear. All right, the arrow goes wide.
Something's going on.
Whoa,
Gate gets caught.
Gate's gonna take a lot of damage, gets the shield, and here comes the teleport in from Quas. Shockwave buys some time, cleanses a little bit, and the damage continues to go through. A flash body slam from Dominic, gets the kill picked up. Soraka can't do enough for her team just yet. The ulti's already down, and in fact, the chase keeps coming through. Impact keeps getting targeted heals from Adrian to keep the front laner alive. Quas still buying a lot of time. It's a 1-for-0, and Liquid get out.
Yeah, Gate looked like he was on vacation or something. I need to see that again to wonder why he was there, but he gets punished for that. He lands a 3-man shockwave, but again, with a big gold lead, to lose a 1-for-0 is a huge setback as far as trying to close the game out in an ideal fashion.
Curiously, Gate also went Ignite here, which is honestly strange. Most mid laners seem to play something a bit more defensive as far as their second summoner choice as well. Gate's not the style of player to need to go fight people with the Ignite. I'm a little bit surprised, honestly.
Yeah, so Gate walks through a ward. Honestly, he has no reason to go there without any scouting beforehand, and they did not have vision of Team Liquid, so a bit of a mistake, but Team Impulse does try and improvise. Shenalt, Soraka ult keeps him alive for quite some time, and then the rest of Impulse just try and collapse in. It looked like Rush was probably trying to make a play in the top lane, so Gate wanted to support it, and that's why he walked through the wards.
It's just a very dangerous map movement there from Gate. You know, he's always trying to be there in time for the rest of the team, trying to keep up with the rest of the team. But controlling the vision around your mid lane to make sure that you can roam safely is the first step in that. It does pay off for Team Liquid, but it's only 1 kill. They aren't able to get any objective afterwards, so in the end, it's just gold, 1 kill's worth of gold going over. And Team Impulse doesn't provide too much of a speed bump for them. Dragon number 2 picked up very quickly.
Team Liquid at least do get the top lane outer turret down though, so that gold gap is getting bridged somewhat. Only 3.6 thousand, not too bad actually. This is better off than TL were over in game 1.
Yeah, amazingly. The small wins they've been able to get, the 1-for-1 in their own jungle, the kill on the Gate, and the fact that, as Kobe said, they're able to keep that mid lane turret alive again and again because Phoenix has been stellar with his wave clear and his recall timings, not leaving windows for that mid lane to be attacked. Team Liquid is just trying to show poise here and stick around despite the difficult start once again.
So far the poise is okay. We'll see if they can get much more out of this one. Dragon 2 fairly late into the game, not a huge risk to them because Dragon 5 is still 16 minutes out.
It's just so rare that when I see a team this far ahead in gold as Team Impulse are and have more towers, that they're behind in ward coverage. It's Team Liquid who have just complete defensive warding game after game here. And Impulse, even with the control of the map and the advantage that they have, haven't been able to make a significant dent in it.
Yeah, but one thing that Rush tries to do is he knows where the wards are and he tries to make a play. 3-man flank on a Piglet.
And they're going to do a lot of damage to him. Even if he has cleanse, it doesn't matter. The taunt comes in, the damage comes through. Thank you very much.
For all the wards that Team Liquids have, unless a pink sees Rush or he gets caught by a regular ward while clearing a camp, that is still a nearly indefensible play. And the more Team Impulse can execute that, the faster they can gain an edge in this game.
They're just keying around Rush. 100% kill participation for him. 7-0 and 2. Rush is second up, only missing out on 1 so far in this game, thanks to a solo kill from Rush. And Impulse happy to play around just those players, those two, making it all happen, getting the game farther ahead, and this is actually a formula that seems to be succeeding. Of course, they just show up to Apollo's lane, who arrows them and someone dies.
Yeah, I mean, so it is
Impact, though, is all alone.
Oh, big misstep there. 4 members come to stop him.
It is a formula that has worked for them, but it's such a simple formula. You only have 2 components, right? And
1 + 1 is 2.
I can't argue with you, freaking got me.
Simple formulas are the easiest, man. Can't get them wrong.
Well, Team Impulse needs to find the formula for closing the game. Because honestly, in their set against CLG, they definitely had 2 close games in game 1 and 2, but through a series of mistakes and poor rotations, they weren't able to close. And again here, just strange recall timing, strange backs. Impact got cut out, he had to flash away, he has no ultimate. So the pressure from Team Impulse is again relaxed, and Team Liquid gets the time to farm. And that's a nice little barrel hop that Quas is able to pull off.
690 damage.
Ghostblade's second item on Gangplank.
I actually like that.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
really do like
really,
that.
really scary thing for a Soraka. You can see he's already trying to build some armor here.
Which is going Zeke's, because he's
Glacial
always going
Shroud
Zeke's.
as quickly as possible.
I think it's a happy coincidence for him. Oh, the stun lands, but Quas eats oranges, doesn't seem to care. Midlane Adder does at least go down, so Impulse bought enough time.
Yeah. As far as
that's gonna
trying
be
to
all right.
close out the game here for Team Impulse, we have to be very clear that Team Liquid has a lot of ways of dodging around these things. Braum can put it unbreakable. They have double cleanse.
Oh, wow.
Maybe it's not going to be enough, though.
It might not be. Phoenix flashes. Rush doesn't seem to care. Ulti comes in, but it's already Phoenix alive. Now Dominate also going to be safe as well. Impulse can't get much picked up.
Yeah, double cleanses Lulu ult. It's okay from Gangplank. So many things to stop the hard initiations there. I like the patience of Phoenix actually right there to save his wild growth until Team Impulse is going to fully commit, and then he still saves himself.
Solid stuff. A lot of ultis traded back and forth. Ash Erwin now going to be down for the next 45 seconds. Adrian does need to find ways to keep his health topped off, though. He has to be around mini waves to get the healing from the upgraded Talisman of Ascension here. It's a significant amount, but without other passive regen, it gets a little bit more difficult. I almost want to see Flask on him at some point, just to make sure he doesn't get picked off by GP at some point.
Yeah, it's all about,
Apollo takes a whole lot of damage. They've already picked up one, but traded back as the AD carry goes down and gates the next target here. An overstep, and Team Liquid looking good.
TIP have to work around the Stand United. If Impact does not have ultimate, they can't be making these plays. He's separated from the entire team. 1+1 there. Something fell apart, Freak. They didn't have one.
Yeah, they had aggressive positioning, but had no aggressive spells to back that up. We'll have to see the beginning of that fight again because it looked like Team Liquid created the pick out of nothing. And now it's again Team Liquid storming back. They were down 6,000 to 7,000 gold already in this game, and they're again the aggressors.
So in a 4v3, they knock down mid. Out of the knockdown mid tier 2, they're getting this game much, much closer now. But Rush already wants in. Apollo does have the arrow, doesn't cast it though.
Rush is hoping to catch someone in a recall.
Gives Phoenix just some time.
At the best, yeah, he just delays them.
That still buys some time though. We just saw Team Liquid use the smallest of windows off of a small team fight win to get a lot done. Maybe Impulse do something like Baron setup here.
Well, they delayed the recall, so at least it gives them time to get wards in. It's more about the bait for a fight. They have almost all their ultimates up now. If they can wait about 10 seconds for Stand United, the ideal would be flanking Team Liquid as they approach the Baron area and getting some damage on.
They need to get Impact into a position where he's split pushing if they want to do that then, to try and get the most out of it. Yeah, it was, again, Gate and Apollo just really bad positioning and a failed flash. Just pure mistakes there from Impulse. They even have deep wards this time.
The damage dealing front line was up at the front of the ward line with their tanks behind them. That is just something that should almost never happen, but it is a lapse of communication that has plagued Team Impulse so far in these playoffs.
A big misstep gives the leg back to Team Liquid here. We'll see if they can stand out long enough to get farther back into this one. It only took them one team fight to basically win the game last time around for Team Liquid. We'll see what kind of advantage they need this time around, if Impulse will give them that chance. Still 5 kills up, still 4,000 gold. Dragon number 3 is alive.
Absolutely huge right here. It's a dangerous spot for Team Liquid to go into if they actually want to pick up this Dragon, because the instant they engage, they open up vulnerabilities to flank unless they cover with the proper pink ward.
Right now, Team Liquid, they're looking for the backline because they just saw the fail flash from Apollo and Adrian. They know his is still down. If they can get a good Gragas barrel or even some Gangplank explosion onto those two, it's a huge win for Team Liquid in the team fight. Yes, they're down in gold, but the backline of Impulse is vulnerable right now.
Quas has no TP and he's separated.
Yeah, I actually
Quick
like
clear.
what Team Impulse is doing for the most part, trying to split push with the Shen as well as push up the mid lane, because Team Liquid actually has good pink wards behind them to stop the flank. So instead, Team Impulse might just try and brute force this Dragon and hope Team Liquid funnels in.
Yeah, Matt favored them. Teleport advantage for Impact. Top was already pushing out. Quas went to go clear it away, so it gave them just enough room to sneak in and take Dragon number 3. That's move speed for the team. Actually a pretty big deal to let the team get around the map here. Impulse still looking solid in this one. Impact does not have the best of wards keeping him happy here. There is actually a pretty easy rotation for the mid lane, but he's going to be all right so far. Rush continuing to tax the map as much as he can. He is no longer the richest man in the game. He's been surpassed by Impact and Phoenix. but he was for a while the guy with all the gold.
Yeah.
Did turn back to tank items afterwards. Rush stopped the Luge's Echo.
Rush shut out of kills for the last 10 minutes. He had 7 kills just before the 20-minute mark. We're now 30 minutes in, so just another example of how the game has stalled out yet again. Having very recent flashbacks for Team Impulse about not being able to close out the game. If they were to have early game leads in their first 2 games and not be able to close out Team Liquid on back-to-back occasions, that would be immensely demoralizing. And it'd be almost
Look how
impossible
difficult
to
this is
come
for
back.
Impact. Quas, knowing when to turn aggressive. 3 aggressive items in a Spectre's Cowl. If you count the cooldown boots as that. Gets 7 damage back into Impact, who respects him.
It's also, the time that it takes for Impulse to close out the game is also due to the tactic that Team Liquid take. Team Liquid go into turtle mode as soon as their outer ring of turrets are down. Rush are going to have to run away from Dominate here, but Team Liquid, they do a very good job of being able to farm their 3 lanes consistently while still staying safe near their turrets and keeping up their defensive vision. The thing that you give away in this tactic is complete dragon control, and that's why we keep seeing Impulse stacking their dragons. The key to this tactic of Team Liquid of running this is that you have to make your move before the dragon stacking gets out of hand and before Impulse are able to get to number 5.
Well, Rush sneaks into the brush. He's hoping Piglet goes for this farm. They're going to send Apollo to clear it out and push the wave in. If someone shows up who shouldn't, if they'll die right away, do Impulse put enough pressure into this top lane outer turret? They're just going to have Rush show up. Piglet is there to defend, but he's on the safe side. And with the support.
Pretty good wave clear again. Apollo doesn't really have tank set up in front of him. Oh, Quas might be in trouble here.
The big taunt with the oranges already used. Quas now trying to run away from this one. Impact is out of energy though. There's not a lot left for Quas to do. He's going to pop the barrel. No, he doesn't. Impact going to do all the damage he needs. There's the flash. Another set of oranges used. Oh wow, he blows up the barrels. Another taunt used to get over to the side, but where's Eve? There's Rush. There's the dive on in. Doesn't need the ulti. Gets the kill. Rush is legendary.
Best friends, Rush and Impact, always teaming up on Quas right here. Now this could be the window for Team Impulse to take something down. They have 30 seconds while Quas is dead before he can teleport in. They have pink ward control, they have an Eve ultimate, they start the Baron.
All right, there's the risk. Impact uses his Stand United on top of the fountain to tank up everything he can. He's got a Thornmail done now, but can this team stop Dominate? He's had such a good record of stealing
Closing in for it.
Barons this season.
If they're going to finish, it's going to be a smite fight. They have not denied Dominate this whatsoever. They have to be incredibly careful here.
They block out the vision.
Quas is almost alive as well to teleport in. This is going to be a huge fight.
There's the taunt. They go for Dominate. They go the damage. Now can they get enough done? 800 health on Baron. It goes to the blue team. That gets picked up, and Ash gets the kill. Over the wall they go. Rush wants Piglet. Not going to find him yet, but they will find Xpecial. 2 kills picked up. And the Baron, make that 3.
I'm so impressed that Impulse were able to communicate that stop on Baron. They forced Dominate into the Baron pit. He used his damaging combo, so from that point, all the damage they had to account for was the pure damage of Dominate's smite, and he had to use it before he died, so Rush just held on to his, able to get that last hit, and Impulse run straight up the mid lane.
Yeah, with 3 dead on Team Liquid and a freshly acquired Baron buff, they can take a ton of objectives off this play.
As long as Adrian's careful, takes damage from the ulti, pops Wish to make sure he's gonna be all right. And the mid lane inhibitor goes down. Now, the turret's gone, the inhibitor's gonna be next. That will get picked up. Impulse now to run away as the respawns come in. Barrel will not put any more slows down. Impulse up 14-5 in kills, 9,000 gold, and they've got time to recall.
A huge, huge salve relief there from Impulse, able to finally crack through the defenses of Team Liquid after drying them out for that Baron. Yeah. It's Impact and Rush. Once again, they make the pick to start it off. They get the numbers advantage, and they secure this Baron as well.
Yeah, it's the stop damage. Obviously, Dominate put out the barrel right here. Watch the backside of this fight, though. Lulu gets blown completely up, so Piglet gets stopped. It's cleansed away.
Oh yeah, Gate running interference.
Right into the shockwave of Phoenix. And he kills him through the Lulu ultimate. So while that was going on, Gate did the proper thing. He wasn't keeping up with this team. He was doing his own thing on the side, which finally ends up working out. Team Impulse closes the double kill afterwards. And I think it's really important for Team Impulse to recognize why that was a successful play. Team Liquid is a better team fighting team than Team Impulse. Just mechanically, they understand the front line, the tank line, and can protect their carries better. But Team Impulse is a better team at finding skirmishes, and everything that happened there was off of a skirmish. They killed Quas, forced an odd-numbered fight, and just kept the game scattered.
Rush and Impact are trying so hard to carry this game, and they're doing a good job of it this time around.
It's back to the old Impulse style. Get the bot lane so they can help those two do everything. Bring some Ash Arrows, bring a Wish, bring things that help those guys do all the work, and they are doing an amazing job of that right here. Top lane now under fire. Impact does still have all of his global teleports available. Quas has to be afraid. Thornmail making it way too hard to do anything useful. And the team can keep on pushing up. Top lane tier 2 is gone. That's 7 turrets picked up now. The Team Liquid's 4. Stun on the Dominate doesn't really mean a whole lot.
Yeah, not synced up with Rush's initiation. You can tell that Team Impulse is thinking of doing a flank, but that's a pretty risky dive onto the inhibitor.
Yeah, even if it was, that was really dangerous to go for. The rest of the damage from Impulse would be cut outside the line. But because they don't go for it, they're able to get a lot of damage on top turret. Will they be engaged on?
Well, they might give up top tier 2, but now Apollo going to get chased down. The ulti's popped. The slow's not going to land. Gate flashes to get away from the barrel, and it just gives more and more time. Impact saved the ulti, knew his team was fine. He's going to get the inhibitor.
Really strong disengage right there. Rush using his stealth within the base of Team Liquid, not getting spotted by creep wards, and they are just playing the numbers advantage. Now with 2 inhibitors down, it's all about waiting for the super minions, trying to get Team Liquid drawn off, and then they can dive that 3rd inhibitor. They no longer really care about the 5 dragons. They're going for the pressure right now to clear the 3rd inhibitor.
And it might be likely the team is all behind them. They already show the Shen and the Evelynn. Preemptive barrels set up for Quas. He's going to be one of the big damage dealers here. Him and Piglet. Bottom tier 2 still taking damage. Baron buff has timed out. Russ still doesn't find much to do yet. A little bit of damage to Dom. Backs right out again. Blue Elixir is on. And again, the turret finally goes down. Here we go. Last inhibitor laid bare. There's the toss. Shockwave catches Dominate. There's the first kill of the fight. And not much more Quas can do. Impact still taken up in the front line. Adrian staying alive. Rush the same. Gets a shield from Shen, and now the push towards Special. They're going to pick him up. That's already 3 kills picked up now for this one. And we've got ourselves a series, ladies and gentlemen. This should be game 2 going to Team Impulse as long as they can close it out with the minions. It's only Phoenix alive against the world. And he's not strong enough, so that will be the 2nd turret. That will be the Nexus, and we've got a 1-to-1 series as Impulse fires back.
Oh, and the taunt on the Fountain at the end, just to put the icing on the cake. Got him. Nice job for Team Impulse. They lulled a bit in the mid game after their incredibly large lead at 20 minutes, but ultimately it was Impact and Rush who continually found the picks and made the plays, and Gate, Apollo, and Adrian played a strong supporting cast. 1-1.
Yeah, honestly, the Sirocco did play a large role in the early game success for their team. Also, the little ambush that Rush and Impact were able to get at level 1 on Piglet. Pretty big advantage when you're able to set the Kog'Maw behind that early.
Definitely mattered. 3 deaths for Piglet. The lowest, 2nd lowest of his team, but certainly not as big of an impact as he had over in game 1 there on his Vayne. It was banned away. The Tristana was banned away. These guys thought, oh, we can steal the Kog'Maw, Team Liquid. We can get it away. We can deny your strategies. The champion that they had banned in game 1. Turns out there was already a plan ready for Impulse. The Shen Evelynn Submarine, champions that they were allowed to play in so many of their other playoff series and didn't go back to. They once again find those 2 champions. Very successful for them. They found so many good fights.
Yeah, and Gate found a few nice shockwaves on Orianna as well. That's something that's pretty critical. Instead of him playing Lulu, he had a few fight-changing Orianna ults and really had a big impact. Being a damage threat there from the mid lane, really important if you have Impact and Rush running around trying to make plays, especially since Team Impulse has shown they can't play very well around protecting a carry.
Still has to clean up his map awareness, though. He got caught a couple of times trying to roam around mid lane.
Yeah, it's still one thing we are seeing bite Impulse a little bit is these mid-game, the map movements, especially from some of the more novice players, but we'll see if they can shore that up throughout this season, throughout this series. Going to get ourselves to game 3, but for now, going to send it down to Dash and the rest of the analysts.
Thank you, gentlemen. As you mentioned, I am here. The crowd is happy to see it. I'm joined by TSM's Wild Turtle and Dyrus. Gentlemen, thank you very much, first of all, for taking the time to come and speak with me. We're going to get into the series at hand in just a moment. But Turtle, I'm coming to you first. What's it like to be inside Madison Square Garden, looking at the stage that you're going to be playing on tomorrow?
It's just crazy having like 11,000 people in the stadium, all just watching the game and being really passionate. And yeah, it just seems really crazy. And I never thought I'd be in this position, and it just feels really good.
Now, Dyrus, even more so for you, TSM originated in New York City. You guys have kind of come full circle. You're back here in New York City to play for your sixth finals, North American finals. How does that feel?
Nothing new for us. We're always going to be here.
All right, I like the confidence. You know, now with that, you mentioned, Turtle, kind of the scope of this arena. What does it mean? What would it mean to know that you were the first team to win an esports tournament inside a historic arena, one that had Ollie and Frazier, you know, something like that?
It would just mean that, like, everything for TSM, if we were to win this match, it really means a lot to everyone in the organization, and I feel like I'm a part of it, so I need to try my best to win tomorrow.
All right, well, now I do want to turn to the match at hand, Team Liquid versus TIP, as we just saw. The series is now tied up 1-1. Darius, I'm coming to you first. Just general thoughts on how this series is playing out so far.
So after the first game, I thought how the match would be played out would be decide on whether Impact was on a tank or a carry. And the way Impact and Rush plays throughout the game will dictate how the game will be won. And even though Rush and Impact were really, really fed, and Impact had like almost double Quas's CS halfway into the game as one of the best late game scaling champions, they were too afraid to do anything on the first game. So I feel like after each team's first loss, a sudden realization to both of the teams to where, like, we can't play scared, we gotta go do stuff, we have to play our advantage. And for the first game, TIP probably realized once we get this lead, we just gotta go fight again and not stall it out, otherwise things may happen. And so far for the second game, it's been a little bit different for them.
We'll see if Team Liquid can shake off that loss that they just sustained. A little bit more specifically, we've seen some fun picks come out. I want to get your take on Gangplank, the new Gangplank that we've seen in other regions as well, but here's popping up in North America now.
Personally, I think Gangplank is a pretty strong champion. I don't think he's broken out of control, otherwise we would have seen Team Liquid win, of course. But he's a very, very different Gangplank from before just because of the barrel mechanic. It really depends on what you build also. I didn't like that Quas built Youmu's into more tank because I feel like you would just get outscaled by other tanks anyways, but I think that's probably personal preference too. I think the biggest thing about Gangplank is, other than his oranges, of course, is that his ultimate is very, very game-changing in the rotation game. When you build up a wave and you're about to siege a tower, Gangplank's like, nope, drops an ult, or nope, has like 3 barrels, crits for like 1,000, and it's like, you can't siege.
Now, Turtle, let's look at some of the fun picks in the bot lane. We're seeing the Ashe come back out for Team Impulse next to the Soraka of all things. So I want to get your thoughts on Soraka as a bot laner here.
I'm just going to say I love playing with Soraka, and I hate playing against Soraka.
All right. Hey, that's fair enough. Now, gentlemen, let's look ahead to tomorrow, because tomorrow we've got a marquee matchup between you gentlemen and CLG. Turtle, rivals, longtime rivals. This is a big matchup for these two teams, huge brands in the NALCS to go head-to-head, fighting for the title of champions in North America. How are you feeling about that matchup?
I'm feeling really nervous for that match because it's a really big match, and I know CLG's been playing really well lately, so I'm just going to go in pretty nervous, but I got to go in confident, and hopefully we can come out with a win.
And of course, Darius, I've got to ask you for your thoughts on this storied rivalry as well.
Well, the crowd knows who the underdog is, and in this stadium or this area where there's so many people, like, only you guys will know how it turns out.
All right. Confident words, not much more needs to be said. There are the cheers. Gentlemen, thank you again for joining me up here and giving us some insights. Now, after this, we got to take a quick break. We'll dive back into our tied-up series between Team Liquid and Team Impulse. Stay with us. Game 3 is coming your way in just a minute.
TSM.
Live from New York City, Team Impulse looking to fire back, and here we go with Game 2. Big sounds from Soraka, buys a lot of time. One more hit will do it. Rush gets his 3rd kill of the game, and Impact is still in turret range, but not taking nearly enough damage. There's the submarine. He's in the brush, but he's gonna go down. There's the kill, there's the taunt, there's the 6th kill of the game for Team Impulse.
Gargus. I killed one. Okay. Nice. Come over the wall. Block. I can kill. Coming. Kill, bro. Mid.
There's the taunt. Shockwave can't just dominate. There's the first kill of the fight, and not much more Quas can do. Impact still taking up in the front line. We've got a 1-to-1 series as Impulse fires back.